Hello everyone, welcome to today's story. A love that blooms in silence now stands at the edge of fate. Alex has finally found the courage to bring his mother to Tuna's house, asking for her hand in marriage. But will Tuna's family accept him? Or will their differences drive them apart? Can love truly overcome pride, tradition, and doubt? Stay with us until the very end to witness how this emotional journey unfolds. And don't forget to subscribe. Help us reach 1,000 followers so we can continue bringing you more heartfelt stories. The morning sun stretched its pale arms across the grapefruit orchard, glistening on the heavy fruit that bowed the branches low. Alex walked the rows slowly, his steps deliberate, his mind elsewhere. He counted harvest days, measured sweetness, and thought of contracts with Adam and John. Every detail of the business demanded balance, yet inside, balance was slipping further away. He spoke numbers by day, but his heart spoke only one name by night: Tuna. In the stillness of the orchard, her face rose before him like a quiet melody, as if the rustling leaves whispered her presence. He longed to tell his mother about this love, to cross the invisible wall of tradition that pressed between them. Yet the thought of rejection weighed heavier than the fruit on the branches. Alex's hands brushed against a pomelo, cool and firm, and he felt the echo of another question tightening his chest. Would his mother ever accept Tuna, whose life stood apart from their family's prestige? He wanted to believe love could bloom even in rocky soil, but fear stalked him. Every evening he returned home, rehearsing words he never spoke. His mother's eyes, kind yet expectant, seemed to ask for grandchildren, for stability, for a future that might not include Tuna. Silence became a cage around him. The orchard thrived under his care, but within him, the season of harvest felt endlessly delayed. As dusk fell, Alex lingered among the trees, the golden light sinking into shadows. Business could be measured, harvested, sold, but love, his love for Tuna, remained unmeasured, fragile, waiting for a courage he had yet to gather. The house carried the faint aroma of tea leaves and polished wood when Alex entered. His mother was waiting, her voice calm yet filled with longing. She spoke gently of age, of wanting to hold a grandchild before her hair turned fully silver. Each word pressed softly, yet with the weight of years. Alex listened, his lips parting as if to speak, but hesitation sealed them again. He wanted to tell her, wanted to say that his heart already belonged to Tuna, that he dreamed of building a life beside her, that happiness was not measured in wealth or lineage, but in the quiet warmth of shared days. Yet the words trembled at the edge of his tongue, fragile as wings caught in the wind. "Do you have someone already?" his mother asked, her eyes searching his face. Her question was not stern, but hopeful. It was an open door, one he had longed for. Still, fear slipped between them, like a shadow across the threshold. What if he spoke, and she closed the door forever? Then the phone rang. A contract to sign, a meeting to attend. Business intruded, scattering the fragile moment. His mother sighed, masking disappointment behind composure. "We'll talk tonight," she said, and her eyes lingered on him, filled with both patience and unspoken suspicion. Alex stepped away, his heart heavier than before. The silence he had carried stretched on, unbroken. Between duty and love, he remained suspended, his courage deferred once more. And in the quiet after he left, his mother wondered aloud, Does my son already love someone? That afternoon, the stillness of Alex's home was stirred by the arrival of Mai, the daughter of his mother's longtime friend. She entered with a polite smile, carrying a small gift, her presence filling the house with echoes of childhood days when she, Alex, and John had once played without care. His mother's face brightened, warmth radiating as she welcomed Mai like a cherished daughter returning home. Over tea, laughter wove through memories of the past. His mother recalled the innocence of their youth, spoke proudly of Alex's success, and subtly praised the virtues of Mai. Her voice carried hints, unspoken wishes that perhaps fate had brought Mai back not just to visit, but to belong. Alex listened in silence, the air between them dense with expectations he dared not confront. At dinner, Mai admired Alex's achievements, expressing wonder at his company, his orchards, his trade abroad. She spoke with admiration, her words threaded with sincerity. His mother's eyes lingered on the two of them, as if picturing a future already aligned. She even suggested finding a position for Mai within Alex's company, a gesture heavy with implication. Alex smiled politely, but his thoughts wandered elsewhere, toward Tuna's gentle voice, toward the earth-scented simplicity of her farm. He felt the room close around him, as though the walls themselves whispered of choices not yet made. When the evening drew to a close, Alex offered to drive Mai home. The road stretched before them, quiet and dimly lit, but his heart beat not for the passenger beside him. Instead, it pulsed for the one far away, whose absence filled the silence louder than any words Mai could offer. The night wrapped itself around Alex as he returned from escorting Mai home. The hum of the car engine faded, replaced by the hum of his own thoughts. Mai was everything his mother might wish for: polite, accomplished, familiar. Yet Alex felt no tremor in his heart when she spoke, no quiet stirring that lingered after parting. Instead, it was Tuna who lived in his silence. He saw her face in the dim reflection of the window, imagined her hands tending soil, her laughter rising like birds startled from the grass. The memory of her voice calmed him in ways success never could. Mai might represent comfort, an easy approval, but Tuna embodied truth. He thought of the differences that lay between them: her modest life, his family's prestige, the unspoken wall that tradition might raise. Yet when he recalled the way she looked at him, eyes steady, unafraid, Alex felt that no barrier could hold against such quiet strength. The orchard he worked for profit suddenly seemed pale compared to the garden Tuna cultivated with care. In her world, fruit and vegetables carried the scent of survival, of love poured into earth. In his, contracts and exports weighed down with numbers. Between them lay a gulf, but also a bridge, his longing to be by her side. Standing alone in the empty house, Alex whispered her name, as if calling it into the dark would bring her closer. Mai had returned, yes, but Tuna had never left. The morning air smelled of damp soil when Alex arrived at Tuna's farm. He carried a small bag of seeds, their weight light in his hands yet heavy with meaning. She greeted him with a gentle smile, her sleeves rolled, earth still clinging to her fingers. The simplicity of her world disarmed him. Here, every gesture spoke of survival and care. Together they knelt by the garden bed. Alex pressed seeds into the ground, while Tuna watered the soil, their movements unhurried, as if time itself had slowed to watch. The silence between them was not emptiness, but a shared rhythm, the sound of soil breaking, of water sinking deep. He felt the closeness of her presence, more profound than words. When Tuna lifted baby Henry into Alex's arms, something shifted within him. The child's small weight rested against his chest, fragile yet anchoring. Alex gazed down, his heart catching on the curve of the boy's cheek, on the innocence of sleep. For a fleeting moment, he saw himself not as a businessman or a son bound by duty, but simply as a man longing for a family of his own. The garden around them seemed to glow brighter, as if acknowledging a truth he had long avoided. Seeds were sown, not just in soil, but in his heart. Seeds of hope, of belonging, of a life he could not find elsewhere. In Tuna's quiet world, Alex discovered the peace he had always sought, yet never named. That night, the house was hushed, the air carrying the faint echo of conversations left unfinished. Alex sat opposite his mother, the weight of his decision heavy, yet clear. His voice, when it came, was steady but low, like a current beneath still water. He spoke of Tuna, not as a fleeting affection, but as the woman he loved, the one he wished to marry. His mother listened, her face unreadable in the dim light. Silence stretched, each second lengthening into something sharp. Alex felt his pulse quicken, yet he held her gaze. He spoke of Tuna's strength, her kindness, the way she cared for Henry, and how, in her presence, he found peace that no wealth could give. His words carried no grandeur, only quiet conviction. For a long while, his mother said nothing. The air grew thick, as though the walls themselves leaned in to hear. Alex braced for refusal, for the gentle but firm denial that would carve his heart in two. Yet slowly his mother's eyes softened. She sighed, a long breath that seemed to release years of expectation. "If she makes you happy," she murmured, "then we must see this through." Her words were neither eager nor resigned, but measured, cautious, touched with maternal love. Alex bowed his head, gratitude flooding through him. The path ahead was not yet smooth. Convincing Tuna's family would be another trial, but the first step had been taken. Tonight, mother and son shared an unspoken pact to walk together into whatever awaited them. The morning carried a hushed weight as Alex and his mother walked together toward Tuna's home. The path seemed longer than usual, every step marked by anticipation and fear. Alex's palms were damp, though he held them tight at his sides, trying to steady the storm within. His mother's face was calm, yet her silence carried the weight of the moment. They were not just paying a visit, but crossing into the delicate realm of union between two families. Inside, the air was thick with formality. Tuna stood near the doorway, her eyes lowered, a fragile grace about her. Alex's heart pulled toward her instantly, but the presence of her family turned every gesture into a quiet negotiation. His mother spoke first, her voice respectful, steady, yet laced with sincerity. She spoke of her son's love, of his wish to build a future with Tuna. The room seemed to hold its breath. Tuna's gaze lifted, meeting Alex's eyes for a fleeting moment, a glance that carried all the tenderness of unspoken promises. Yet behind that tenderness lingered the uncertainty of whether her family would open their hearts. Alex felt the silence press upon him, heavier than any business deal, any orchard's weight of fruit. Here, the stakes were not profit, but love itself. He squeezed his hands, as if holding on to courage. Would they accept him? Would they trust his devotion to Tuna? The questions hung like lanterns in the still air, glowing with fragile hope. And as the moment stretched, Alex knew this threshold was more than a doorway. It was destiny waiting for an answer. The story closes at the threshold of anticipation, where love and family must find a way to breathe in harmony. Alex has taken a bold step, speaking the truth he carried in silence, bringing his mother to Tuna's door. Ahead still lies the quiet trial of her family's acceptance, yet within that hesitation lies the true essence of love. Not only the desire to be together, but the courage to protect and pursue it. The grapefruits in the orchard will ripen, the seeds in the soil will sprout, and so too will love, requiring patience, care, and unwavering faith. The lesson that lingers is simple yet profound. Happiness does not rest in social standing, but in a heart that dares to remain steadfast in what it believes. And perhaps, in these silent moments, we come to understand. True happiness does not arrive in instant approval, but in the journey of daring to walk forward, even when the path ahead is still veiled in mist.